This Instant Pot makes food fantastic. This basil chicken turned out phenomenal. I'm going to show you exactly what I did to cook this. The first thing I did was to slice and dice this onion. It doesn't take much to slice and dice an onion, just a cutting board and a knife, and you're off to the races in a few minutes. Well, maybe a few teary eyes, but hey, that's between you and your onion. Now that my slicing and dicing is complete, it's time to move on to the bell peppers. When I was at my local grocery store, I couldn't find any green bell peppers, so I decided to add a little color. And I went with this orange, yellow, and red setup. It turned out great. I don't know if there's any difference between a green bell pepper, a red bell pepper, a red bell pepper, or an orange bell pepper, or any other color that they might have out there. But it still works out. Drop me a comment below and let me know if there's a difference between the colors of bell peppers. I've always just used them interchangeably. Now that we've gotten through slicing up these peppers, I decided to add a little heat with 2 serrano peppers. I'm just slicing them up and then removing the flesh on the inside before cutting them into little tiny pieces to get mixed in with this dish. Now it's time for the star of our show, these boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I like to trim off the little bit of fat that's usually on the edges when I get them from the grocery store, but you probably don't have to. It's just something I like to do. To get started, we're going to set our Instant Pot to saute. The time for the saute doesn't really matter, so I'm just hitting start. After that, I'm going to pour in some avocado oil, and once it heats up, we'll be ready to put in our onions, just like that. And so we'll let these saute and cook down a little bit, kind of turn opaque. We'll stir them up, keep moving them around though, of course. We don't want to just burn the bottom ones. And after a few minutes, it's time to add our chicken. With the chicken added, I'm just going to stir that around, and I'm going to keep stirring it until it has a nice white outside color on most of the pieces. Finally, I'll pour in chicken stock, add in soy sauce, Thai sweet chili sauce goes in next, followed by rice vinegar. Then finally, we'll put in some brown sugar, and this will be ready to mix up. This all gets stirred up before we're going to put our lid on, and then once our lid goes on, we're going to pressure cook this for 11 minutes. Then we'll let it rest for probably about 10 minutes or so, and then do a vent of the pressure so that we can get into it and add the rest of our ingredients. Now that it's finished cooking and it's sat for about 10 minutes, I'm going to vent the pressure. And I do that very carefully by just pressing that button on top. Then, while that finishes releasing the pressure, I'm just going to stir up some cornstarch and water that I've got mixed up to help thicken this sauce. Oh yeah, this is going to be great. So we'll add in our cornstarch, and then we'll follow that up with all the vegetables that we chopped up along with our serrano peppers. Then finally, to turn this into basil chicken, we're going to add in basil leaves. Bet you didn't see that one coming. Hey, if you've been watching this long, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. Or just drop me a comment below. Let me know what you think of this cook. Is this a recipe that you'd try? If you did try it, how'd it turn out? I'd love to know. With all the extra things combined, we just stir this up, and I'll put the lid back on it and let it sit for a good while, and then we'll be ready to divide this out into our meal containers to store. With the lid on, I let this sit for probably about 45 minutes or so. And then I took the lid back off and divided it up over some brown rice in glass containers that I later froze. These little 24-ounce containers turn out fantastic. I've dropped a link below to these containers as well as everything else that I've used here today in case you're interested in checking it out on Amazon. That's where I got them from. After getting divided out into the little glass storage containers, the sauce thickened up, and this really made for a great meal. They also store really well, so it's easy to grab and heat with the microwave for the next few days. Thanks for watching.